Hello, Matthew Williams here with a short video to talk about the Steve Jobs movie. And yeah, if anyone's wondering why the camera's slightly on an angle, it's because somebody commented that my videos aren't very professional and they're low quality and the colours are all wrong, and nobody really wants to see like this background over here. Nobody wants to see this because it doesn't look very professional. And I would agree with all of that, absolutely. It isn't professional. But then I don't give a fuck. Because, I could put a blue screen behind, up here. I've got one, right? Oh, I've got two. I got white screen and I got a blue screen. But at the end of the day, I'm not about fucking bullshitting that I'm in the fucking Grand Canyon or that I'm sitting on a fucking spacecraft or something like that flying around the fucking galaxy, right? My videos are informational based upon what comes out of the mouth. I'm sorry you have to look at this, but this is more important. So, do you know what? If it's a little bit out of focus, it's a little bit low res, and the fact you have to put up with me, I apologise for all of that, but I'm sure you came here to listen to what I'm saying, not look at my face. So, and the background should be even less important, realistically, shouldn't it? It should be the least important thing you come to these videos for. So, the Steve Jobs video I just watched, and I'm glad to say, didn't pay a penny to watch. Yeah, Steve Jobs was portrayed as the prick he was. And sorry to any family members who may have loved him and think that people talking about him is wrong. But I think, universally it's understood that Steve was a kind of a hard person to get on with. Of course, I never knew him. I'm just going by what people say. But he was universally known. That much leaked out into the general understanding that he was a really awkward bastard to get on with. And, he always had to have things his way. And he was perhaps the reverse of somebody like George Lucas, that if Star Wars had been made by Steve Jobs, then Steve would have absolutely made sure that everybody knew that everything in it was his decision. Whereas at least, George Lucas has got the excuse that he kind of gave a lot of it away to other people to do work on, so therefore he can, although he signed off on it and nodded his head a lot of the times and went, yeah, looks wonderful, yeah, let's go with it, yeah, let's do it. Steve fairly and squarely takes the rap for being the mastermind behind everything in Apple. Everything in Apple. And I'm really glad that it came across in the film that Steve was just really arrogant and didn't like to tip his hat to others, including Mr. Wozniak. I'm not saying, Wozniak is a god, but I think the point that was made in the movie came across well, which has been put forward across before, which is that Steve thought it was all him, when Steve couldn't even program. Steve was just a guy that used to shout a lot and say, yes, I like that, no, I don't like that colour, yes, I want this, I want that. But he never actually did any of it. He just used to shout a lot at other people and get them to do it. And, as was portrayed in the movie, quite correctly, a lot of those ideas were stolen. So the Apple computer and the whole Apple legacy is all other ideas from other people, just pushed and marketed maybe better than the people that invented the ideas in the first place did. But, hey, that's the way, isn't it? Take a good idea, run with it, say it's yours, and fucking, rewrite history. So the movie was interesting. the way that his interplay with his daughter was represented was also kind of interesting, because Steve denied that he had that his daughter was actually his, and that was put across quite well in the movie. Spoilers, but I mean spoilers if you haven't been bothering to read anything about Steve Jobs' life. Sorry if that's a spoiler. But I did think that it was a good movie in the respect that I think even in the end, when, spoiler alert, Steve kind of bridges the gap between him and his daughter, he's still a complete prick in the way he does it. So, yeah, you know, hey, I'm glad if he'd managed to make it up with his daughter. I don't know if it happened much like that in the film. And, you know, I hope she's well taken care of now by the Jobs estate. But from what I understand, Steve was just really fastidious about making sure he kept his money to himself. And, you know, even though there was a point in the movie where they said, oh, you know, we're giving stuff to schools, you know, it's like, God, it's like the fucking Freemasons when they give stuff to people. You know, they have to say to people, oh, don't forget we fucking gave this to you. We, the Freemasons, gave it to you, and don't you ever fucking forget it. It was kind of like that sort of charity in the movie, so I'm glad that came across well. But, not well for Jobs, but was portrayed correctly in the movie. But anyway, it's worth a look, just to see what sort of an arsehole Steve was. And I think it probably is the best movie so far to portray just how awkward this guy was, by all accounts. And, yeah, I mean, where would the world be without Steve Jobs? So, yeah, there's my review of the movie. Not a lot to write home about, really, because it's an uncomplicated movie, but it is kind of interesting that they did choose to portray him as pretty much the dick that everybody said he was. So, thanks for watching.